What's going on, family? Dave Jones here. What up, bro? How you doing, man?
What's going on, chap? How you feeling, baby? Everything good?
Man, everything is great,
Feeling
man.
blessed,
We in this.
feeling
Go ahead.
blessed, man. Blessed,
Yeah,
man.
we in this
Just
steady
trying to
making it
keep
happen. We
myself.
got a topic today. Do you want to tell them what it is? You want me to tell them, bro?
You go ahead and tell them, baby.
All right, so we gonna title this one. Can I get a hug, Granddad? Now, it's the reason for that. Y'all got to stick around. It's gonna be good. This one is, I think, specifically for the fellas today. We're excited to jump in this boy. Let's make it happen.
I'm Cal and Dave Jones are the host of the show. We living in some difficult times, as most of us know. Let's lift each other up and put down the stress. If you didn't know, the name of the show is called Rap.
All right, look, I want to start off. I want to play something for y'all, so y'all can see what put us on topic. We ran across this thing on the internet, and I think it's gonna set us up for what's going to happen. Let's go.
All right.
Hey, Granddad, give me a hug, man. Oh, man, you don't look good because I brought you some damn shit. Nigga, you are crazy as hell. I can't get a hug. Nigga, you don't be hugging on no player, nigga. You can't put that shit on the internet. Boss ass nigga like me hugging on a something. What's wrong with you, boy? You my granddaddy, man. I can't help it, boy. You
Man, that was good when I ran across that, man. Man, listen, before I sent that to you and some of the other fellas, man, I probably watched it 10 times, man.
Right?
Because, man, listen.
Hold on, bro. I gotta play it one more time for him, bro. I gotta play it one more time. Hold on, let me jump back on there again. That is hilarious. All right, here we go. One more time.
Hey, Granddad, give me a hug, man. Oh, man, you don't look good because I brought you some damn shit. Nigga, you are crazy as hell. I can't get a hug. Nigga, you don't be hugging on no player, nigga. You can't put that shit on the internet. Boss ass nigga like me hugging on a something. What's wrong with you, boy? You my granddaddy, man. I can't help it, boy.
He said, "I can't help it, boy." Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. Like I was saying, man, I had to watch this about 10 times, man. It cracked me up so much because not only is it funny, but it's familiar. We all got somebody in our family just remind us of, whether it's a granddaddy or uncle or something, man. So it just cracked me up, man. Actually remind me of my uncle, man, because he bona fide pimp, man. You know what I'm saying? He contributed a lot to my life, you know what I'm saying, in good ways and bad. But, you know, it was funny, man. But it's funny and sad at the same time. But because,
Right.
you know, it's funny because it show you that stern, you know what I'm saying, G hardcore side of a man, you know what I'm saying, that most men carry themselves with. But it's sad because at some point in life, especially when you're to the point where you got grandkids, you're supposed to be able to show some affection. One, because you don't want to leave here as old as that man is without your grandkids having some type of memory of you to know that you love them and you set an example of what a real man is supposed to be like. And I'm sure he set some good examples because if you can see in a video, he was taking his grandson some food. You know what I'm saying? But he just want to get into all the mushy, lovey-dovey stuff. But he loved his grandson enough to say, hey, let me stop by and see my grandson and chop it up with him and eat some food. But the grandson was more, you know what I'm saying, in touch with his feminine side when I mean his emotions, to the point where he appreciated enough to say, hey, granddaddy, I appreciate this. Let me get a hug, you know. And I think oftentimes that's a problem with men because we grow up so hard and we so used to making it happen and just sucking it up no matter what the world throw at us, to the point where we feel like, you know, it's a hard, cruel world. So I got to let my grandkids and my sons and my nephews know that, hey, this is what the world throwing at you, to the point where it can make you seem like you rough around the edges and hard. But we need, as men, to be able to be a little more affectionate and show love because we too guarded. And man, it reminds me about something else that happened this week. I went in the bank to handle some business and I was sitting down with my banker doing a wire. And she was like, hey, you know, I'm glad to see you, Mr. Turner. I need to talk to you. Because we always get into these deep conversations, you know what I'm saying, like me and you. And she's like, what's going on with the men to where they so closed in to the point where they try to battle everything quietly and just deal with it and feel like they can't talk. She's like, you know, and she said she put up a post like, oh, it's okay, man. You know, y'all, it's okay for y'all to have, you know what I'm saying, feelings and y'all gotta let it out. And she said she was getting so many comments like she said, oh, it's okay, man. It's cool. We understand now. Time to let it out. Y'all need to talk. You know what I'm saying? Because we bottle so much up. And she said that she was getting a lot of comments on and hits on the post, like basically like, we good, we all right, oh, I'm straight. And just like at some point, you know, and you see in the Black community, more now so than ever, the rate of suicide is through the roof, like we never seen it before.
Right.
So at some point, you know what I'm saying, like Charlemagne was saying, man, we all need a therapist. Some people got that at home with their wives. Some people got it with men, like brothers like me and you. We kick it about any and everything without judging each other. But a lot of men go through the world, don't have nobody to talk to, and they take all this stuff, you know what I'm saying, and try to handle it themselves. And then you get to the point where you like overloaded like a computer and you crash.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's a lot of crazy points that you hit in there. The title of this this lesson is basically hey, Granddad, can I get a hug?
right.
And we pulling from this clip where, you know, a granddad, you know, was asked, hey, let me get a hug by his grandson, grown man at this point. And he was reluctant to give him a hug because of what his programming was.
Right.
We're clear that Granddad wanted to give him a hug. I might play the longer clip for you here in a second. But I think the point of this is for all of us, we want to walk away with this, is that, man, we need to learn how to show affection.
Right.
And a lot of times when we hear that word affection, we all got a different image when we hear affection. Some of us seeing something sexual, some of us seeing something as an embrace.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's different images that we got, but based upon the image that you got in your head determines your ability to release yourself to actually do it. But we're starving as men for affection, not in a sexual way, but as an embrace. And just looking up that word, it's a gentle feeling of fondness or liking. And I think when you realize that we are creatures that have these bodies, it's enough. It's one thing to get affirmation, like verbal affection. Like if somebody affirms you, like, bro, I believe you are the greatest. I believe you're that. A lot of men are missing that. Right. And so you need that verbal affection or fondness. Right. You got just praise. We starving for praise. Man, that outfit looked good. Or you find I'm saying you did a good job. Or even just appreciation for somebody to say thank you. Right. You know, you know, and so these are verbal forms of affection. But since we are in this body, that's mental only. You need some physical affection, and also from the man. And you got to go back to when you were a child. Hopefully, for those who've experienced, like I was fortunate to have my dad in the home. And if you have a son, you can experience this too. You want to embrace your son. You find what I'm saying? And so that embrace that the son wants to give back, it never really stops. Your perception changes of it, but the feeling of it, I think, never really stops. Of you want to be affirmed by a physical hug from somebody of the male, you know what I'm saying, status that is there. And you know, it's interesting, and I'm gonna let you jump in. We do this a lot, but we kind of sneak it in. I think we as a culture have affected the world with the bro hug. Or we grab it in. We used to do the handshake, and we bring cat in and we hold him. And sometimes we hold a little bit longer to get that out in a sneak way, right? Not sexual or anything like that. It's like that embrace is impactful to the feeling of the fondness or the intimacy of that relationship. And you see that transcribed to other cultures. You know, I was raised in white schools, Catholic schools, parochial schools, and white people, they didn't used to do that. They would shake your hand, right? So now you seeing that cultural transition just in men, and you're like, that embrace is so necessary. So our perception of the embrace needs to change from how it was built for some reason for us to act like Granddad here.
Right. Man, that's good, man. A couple of key points hit me too, man. And it's going to be a little off, but it's going to be on. But one thing I'm big with, especially when in my businesses, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm big on, I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Even on payday, man, I cut checks and, man, thank you. I appreciate you. And this, that, and the third. And that's just something I did because I wanted to let the team know, you know what I'm saying, the work team know that, hey, I appreciate, you know what I'm saying, you going over and above for the business and your work ethic to just come in here and get the job done.
100%.
It was received good at the beginning, but down the line, it became like a person felt like I needed them, or they felt like I owed them something by saying thank you and paying them. I appreciate you. So I learned that, man, you got to say it enough to where a person know, but not so much to where they feel like they doing you a favor, because at the same time, you are paying them for a service. So I had to just learn that even balance, you know, of being able to say, I appreciate letting the team know I appreciate them, versus them getting so comfortable with me saying, thank you, I appreciate you, to where they felt like it almost became like they felt like I worked for them, because it's like I was over appreciative. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But then another key point I want to touch on is like how late in life it took me to learn affection. Like I got my oldest daughter, you know what I'm saying? 20, you know what I'm saying? What, Kayla? 26, 27 at this point. And as a child, I was, you know, as she was a child, I was so heavy in the streets, you know what I'm saying? Man, guys would laugh at me, man. My boys would say I was crazy because, you know what I'm saying, I would pull up with my daughter strapped to my chest, and you know what I'm saying, and like the I call it the front bag, you know what I'm saying, because it's like a front book bag. And I'll have her strapped to my chest, and I'll jump out a brand new Corvette with 40 bows, you know what I'm saying, with her strapped to my stomach. And my man used to be like, man, you crazy, man, doing this with your daughter. I said, look here, bro, what's gonna be crazy is me pulling up and doing this deal with you, and me just dropping my daughter on anybody, and I go back and they molested my daughter or did something crazy to the point where I'm about to throw it all away and go to penitentiary because I'm killing everybody. But what ain't crazy is me having enough spiritual understanding and not being so greedy for money that I'm chasing it to the point where I don't understand who I'm dealing with. I said, bro, I'm not doing no business with nobody that ain't like family with me anyway. You know what I'm saying? I know your mama, your daddy, you know what I'm saying? I know the whole family. So if I pick and choose the deals I do and the times that I can do them when my daughter with and what I can't do. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm already overly paranoid. But I said that to say, you know, I dropped that little quick story because I always covered my oldest daughter with protection, but never with affection. I'm going to say that again, man. I always covered my youngest daughter with protection, but no affection. Because I thought, just because I was raised in the streets, and by like my uncle I was telling you about was a pimp, and you know what I'm saying, drug dealers and people around me that was just getting money in the streets. And it was all about being on the edge, watching your back, being paranoid, you know what I'm saying, making sure you show everybody you ain't no suck, and God don't try to rob you. You won't point it all the time. That's a rough place in your life to live because you so hard all the time living this lifestyle that I thought life was just about showing my daughter that I'm going to be a good provider and I ain't going to let nobody harm you. I didn't know it was okay as a young man. You know what I'm saying? I had my first daughter when I was 17, 18 years old. I didn't know it was okay, especially being that I ain't had no sisters. I had a mother that was strung out on drugs that didn't show me no love, so I didn't know how to give love. I didn't know that it was okay to show affection and not be looked at like you soft or you lame or you know what I'm saying? You may be homosexual. So I had to learn that so late in life, and I used it with my younger daughter, and my oldest daughter now she'll be like, Dad, you're such a different person with my little sister, and man, and this time you didn't get soft. I said, and I had to sit her down one day. I said, baby, let Daddy tell you something. I need to have a talk with you. I said, I want to tell you, I'm sorry, baby. I didn't give you the soft side of me because I didn't know no better. I said, so what you see now is me learning from the mistakes that I made with you. Wow. So I can be a better father to her. Because guess what, baby? I'm fighting for your time now. Now, you know what I'm saying? I'm older and understanding I can give you affection. I'm chasing you down. Let's go to the movie. Let's get out to eat. Come see me. Woo-woo. But if I established that relationship with you when you was younger, then we'll be tighter today. But guess what? Just like everything we do, life, you know what I'm saying, starting businesses and everything we do, it's never too late. You just got to be a man enough to look at your wrongs and go back and fight hard to fix them. We so complacent with staying in a place where, oh man, that is what it is. No, we the fathers. We got to fight for it. Right. So I do it, and guess what? It's coming together better every day. You know what I'm saying? So we just got to understand, man, that we got to take time as men and we got to show brothers love. You know what I'm saying? And just like that post I made last week, and I know I'm ranting, man, but you know, I feel it today. I made a post. I got on seeing some of my homeboys. I went to my boy J-Bone and Red Party, and I seen so many people. It was like a family reunion, man, that I went to high school with, that I used to run in the streets with. And I don't get out as much, man, because I be, you know what I'm saying, on the grind and just sticking to the script, you know what I'm saying, because it's so dangerous out here. And I'm just at a point where now that I'm just trying to, you know what I'm saying, get myself together. I'm totally trying to work on me and be the best version of me. So a lot of times you got to close yourself in and just get to yourself so you can find out who you are. You know what I'm saying? What your triggers are, what your do's ain't, what your don'ts ain't, and just get better. Because I want to be the person that walk in the room and bring light to the room. I want to be the person a person can call and talk to about a serious situation and I experienced it. And I can go right back to that place when I experienced it and give you everything that I need to give you because I remember being there. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be that person. So in order to get there, it's a process. You got to work on yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just there with it. You know what I'm saying? But I went to the party and I made the post and I said, man, I'm always the one cheesing so big. And it's like I'm always, you know what I'm saying? I made that post in the picture and I got some comments and people be like, man, you know, and, you know, they commented and I got a bunch of different comments, but I was standing myself after reading some of the comments. It feels good to be in a place in my life where I ain't watching over my shoulder and I ain't living that dangerous life where I got to take pictures and I got a mean mug and I got to keep this tough image up to where I can live a life where I can smile and see brothers and live my life where I could cheese more because it was always about a tough, hard frown, letting cats know, man, don't try me, bro.
Right.
Don't try me. You know, I already got a little man complex and I'm a nutcase. You know what I'm saying? So don't try me. You know what I'm saying? I just feel good that I'm in a place where it's all love, all smiles, man. I just want to bring joy and happiness to the room, bro.
Yeah, life definitely teaches us a lot. And the faster we take a hold of this experiential knowledge, the faster we'll be able to respond correctly. I think we're talking about men and their capacity and their need to express affection and to show love between men in particular. Obviously, you brought up even with those who are in your family, sons and daughters, but the need for us as adults, you know what I'm saying? I think to show love to each other, to get that affirmation from each other, to get that not only verbal fondness, but the physical fondness through an embrace. And a lot of times you can see it, everything's exaggerated in traumatic times. So if like a time of death or time of sickness, you can see that those hugs are necessary. When the moment you're most emotional, you would take that embrace from a male to console you. And that's just not the only time we need it, because a lot of times we're crying, you know what I'm saying, in private. We're isolated in private and we can't release these emotions or get the what God created, our togetherness, right, to experience that thing. I want to play one more thing for you. It was guy Trevor Noah. He said something that was pretty dope and about this whole concept of intimacy and within affection between males. Let me see how this goes.
Right.
For me, and I really feel like we don't speak about this enough, is people don't realize how often men are experiencing a lack of intimacy. And the only place that they can experience that intimacy is through sex. We've created a society where men are so afraid to be vulnerable with each other, to be, you know, sensitive with each other, to care for each other, to love each other. You know, even saying that as a guy, you always have to change and be like, you can't just say, I love you. You have to be like, I love you, dog. You know what I mean? You got to throw it, like, you can't just say it. And
so it's so much truth to that, right? Like we need that, because like the only place, and then it ain't sometimes in the sex world where you get to experience that what we think is affection or that intimacy, that ain't even there, because it's really just to get your rock off, and that relationship isn't there. And so you really, it's like an anxiety of depressed emotions, and it's almost like pressuring inside of you. You can't really get the affection. It's sometimes even as men where you don't even have the sex, or you don't even want to have sex, you just need an embrace. Like, so we as creatures just need to be embraced. We need to be physically being fonded of, if that makes sense. And so I think taking the sex out of it, I think it's time for us to grow up and to realize, just like a father and a son, the embrace is necessary. That never changes. Obviously, some things change relative to how it appears, and some things you wouldn't do. Like I kiss my 4-year-old son now. I mean, I probably won't be doing that later, even though it's so weird. One of my Middle Eastern friends on a warehouse or whatever, suit warehouse, when I would hug them, Chaldean, they would embrace you and they would kiss you on the neck. And it's nothing sexual there, but that's just how their culture is, where they're allowed to do that, and then it doesn't feel weird. And that embrace, it let me know, like, you single me out as your fondness. Out of all these customers you have, and all the black people that come in here, you see me as family. And the physical embrace, the affection, that's the one that confirmed that to me. And it's so much power in a physical embrace if we change our perception of it.
Right. And that's so good, man, because when you touched on the fact, affection about sex, man, just to touch on that real quick, man, and jump off of it so we don't get off track, because it's all about affection. What a lot of women don't understand about men is we're sexually attracted to you through emotion first. Mm-hmm. So if it ain't some type, you know what I'm saying? I talk to a lot of my partners about this. If the relationship is off with a woman with a bad attitude, or she's snappy, or she, you know what I'm saying, or she funky, you know what I'm saying? In a lot of cases, when we not turned on, because we turned on, we stimulated from the mind first. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We got to be stimulated. So it's got to be something affectionate there for us to grasp it in our minds. Then, you know what I'm saying, being turned on from our minds, the blood rush from our brain down to our penis to the point where we're turned on and we want to be there. But if there's a lot of turmoil in the relationship that got us off as men, we're not even sexually attracted to you. That's why in a lot of relationships, when women think men cheating, it's like, man, it ain't even, I ain't just running around here like no whorehound. You know what I'm saying? It ain't, I got to be turned on. It's got to be something there. You know what I'm saying? Other than just a fat ass and a pretty face. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So a lot of times when when the relationship and things ain't there with a woman that's keeping our emotions and us stimulated in the mind, then we don't want sex anyway. You know what I'm saying? We'd rather go in the bathroom and jack off. You know what I'm saying? Because if it ain't there, it ain't there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that's pretty much a wrap on my end, baby. You know what I'm saying?
I think this is all good. The bottom line, going back to that slide where the OG granddaddy didn't want him, like, you don't put that stuff on camera, right? Right. It wasn't that he didn't want the embrace. If we looked at that particular clip, he was, like you said, he was bringing food to his grandson, grown man, as an act of love, an act of kindness. And the son was like, Dad, give me a hug. And whatever his mentality, whatever been baked into his mind, and some of us still have this, of the perception of a physical embrace from a man, it's the wrong perception that I think we should get over in order to experience and embrace and to be able to say, I love you. Like I tell Cal all the time, I love you, bro. When I see him, I hug him. You know what I'm saying? I hold him. My brothers, when I see him, I just hold my brothers like, man, don't let me go, man. Just hug me. You like what I'm saying? It's just that embrace is so needed to establish the fondness physically. And the more we're able to do that, the more we get that human connection and can release some of the pent up frustration that we have inside of us, because that's what leads us to crash, bro. Like, we have to be honest with ourselves. When all that energy is pent up and we can't release the connection with somebody, you feel so isolated, so alone. And a lot of that can be just simply relieved by just the embrace and the fondness of people that look like you. And in this case, we're talking about man. So it's a wrap for me too, baby.
Yes, sir. I want to say real quick, I was supposed to jump on and do this week, man. Got busy. God put something in my spirit I didn't do. So I want to tell y'all, going into a new year, a lot of us, we got to buckle down and put ourselves on punishment. And what I mean by that is we're going to have to lock ourselves in. We're going to have to get real focused. We're going to have to cut out a lot of frivolous spending. And we got to quit making excuses and go hard on those things that we've been trying to do. And we keep finding reasons and situations as to why we putting it on hold. We're going to have to just face some of these hard goals that we're trying to get to and attack them and go hard at them and just make no excuses, because I'm going to tell you, trying and failing beats a not try any day. So many people that's so scared to try, you know what I'm saying, that they ain't even fail. And that's how the devil do. He keep you in a place where you nervous or you scared to where you won't try, and you never tap into your abilities and talents and get to where you're trying to go. And God is on the other side right there waiting to catch you where you fall at, but you won't even take the step. So I was supposed to say that, and I got busy and didn't drop it. So here we are, man. God bless y'all. We love y'all. This year, we're going to keep each other lifted up in praise. We're going to bring happiness to the rooms, and hey, let's get it. Rap,
I'm Cal and Dave Jones are the host of the show. We living in some difficult times, as most of us know. Let's lift each other up and put down the stress. If you didn't know, the name of the show is called